All right, beautiful people, what is up? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing fantastic today. Today we're going to be talking about one thing to keep in mind. You're not going to feel like it, right? So let's talk about that because I noticed that some people out there have a bit of difficulty with motivation. They have a bit of difficulty with getting themselves going. It's like the advice on the surface is very easy to understand, right? When we say, let those feelings and thoughts be, don't get into a mental fight with them, right? Instead, have a accepting attitude and then live your life. Positive behaviors, do things that you don't necessarily feel like doing. Be the person that you wish to become, right? Behave like the person that you wish to become. Teach your brain with that positive behavior, that all as well. So on the surface, that is very clear. It's very to the point. There's really no way that you could go wrong with kind of overthinking that. Of course, people do, but really, it's to the point. It's to the point. So, a lot of people understand the advice. A lot of people can comprehend the advice. It's not hard to comprehend. Your brain thinks there's a danger. You need to behave in a way with your behaviors that tell the brain there's not a danger. So very easy to comprehend, but people still get stuck. They get stuck, and I believe that's because they don't feel like it. They simply put, they don't feel like it. So we're going to talk about that today. Kenneth, what is up, dude? Yo, welcome to the stream. Edward Arnold, what is up? Brian, hi, Wonder Bro, hello, welcome. Need this right now. It's going to be a good one. Hi, hello, Kate, Lucy, welcome, guys. We're already packed today. Let's see here. I'm going to get comments pulled up on this second screen. On this second screen. What is up? Hey, AP, getting tongue-tied already. Welcome. We're going to drop a link or two, and then we're going to go ahead and get started because we are already full on chat. So let's see. Real quick. Gonna grab a link. Gonna grab a link for anybody who wants it. All right, so what are we sitting at? Chat is already full. We might as well jump right into this one. So let's see here. Recovery. All right, take a big deep breath for this one. Recovery. People know exactly what it is they need to do, right? We've been doing this now for how many years? People know exactly what it is they need to do. They need to get up each day, try to have that accepting attitude, right? Talk themselves into the accepting attitude rather than fighting with the thoughts and feelings. That's half of the equation. The other half is the positive behavior. So while the brain is triggered, while you're triggered, you're having these intrusive thoughts, you're having these strong anxiety symptoms, your goal is simple. Positive behavior. You need to behave like there's not a real tiger if you want the brain to believe that there's not a real tiger. Now, logically, we know that the tiger does not exist. Logically, we know that this is not the real you. Logically, we know that there is really no call for this alarm, right? We know that on a logical level, okay? So people know the advice. People know how simple the advice really is, but people get caught up on not feeling like it, right? Like that's the biggest hurdle people face when it comes to recovery. That is the biggest hurdle that people face when it comes to the positive behavior. I know I should be getting up and doing things that I want to do but don't necessarily feel like doing. I know I should be getting up each day, and while I'm triggered, I should be behaving as if there is no real danger. I should be smiling more. I should maybe even be singing more, dancing more. I should be partaking in life around me. I should be speaking up more. I should be not remaining quiet, not frozen, not in bed all the time, not on the couch all the time. I know I should be having productive days. People know that, right? They know that. If you've been here on the channel for a while, you know that. But there comes a point where people just aren't doing it. They just aren't doing it, myself included. I knew that for a long time, but I wasn't doing it. And it's because you don't necessarily feel like it. So we come to this point where the advice, you know the advice, but you have to get over the hurdle of not feeling like it. You have to get over the hurdle of not feeling like it, therefore I'm not going to do it. You have to make yourself do these things, right? Which involves this behavior, which involves facing uncomfortable feelings. You have to make yourself behave in a way that you wish to feel, right, when it comes to anxiety. How do you get over that? How do you get over that roadblock? There's got to come a point where you decide that the rest of your life and your recovery, right, which is essentially more or less the same thing, is more important to you than, oh, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it, Wonder Bro. I don't feel like getting up and being productive today. I simply don't feel like it. I don't feel like getting up and doing the things I know I should be doing. I just don't feel like it. There has to come a point where you say to yourself, right, the rest of my life is more important than not feeling like it. The rest of my life, my recovery, right, is more important to me than not feeling like it, right? Getting my life back from anxiety, retraining my brain, right, is more important to me than not feeling like it. There has to come a point where you weigh your options, right? What is option number one? Option number one is, Wonder Bro, I don't feel motivated. I don't feel like it. I'm just going to continue the negative behaviors, right? Because I don't feel like it. I don't feel like getting up and being productive because I don't feel like it. I don't feel like doing the things I know I should be doing because I don't feel like it. That's option number one. Option number two is getting to a point where you say to yourself, I am sick of living the way that I'm living. I am sick of my life being dominated by anxiety. I am sick of giving up the only life that I have and ever will have for anxiety. I am sick of living the way that I am living. You've got two options, and you'll always have two options, okay? So I know what it feels like to be unmotivated and to not feel like doing what you're supposed to be doing. I know what it feels like to have that feeling, and I know how strong that feeling can be, but there must come a point in your life where you say, right, to yourself, living a better life, retraining my brain is more important than continuing going down the same bad path that I've been going down. So you'll always be faced with those two options. Every single day that you wake up, if you've been dealing with this anxiety crap for a while, every single day that you wake up, you'll always have that choice to make. I know what needs to be done. Whether or not I do it is going to come down to what I tell myself about the situation. Right? You have to motivate yourself. Nobody can do that for you. A lot of people are sitting around and waiting until they feel like it to use the advice. And we've talked about this before. That day will never come. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. That day will never come. The day that you feel like using positive behavior, making better behavioral choices, right? That day will never come. The day that you feel like doing the things that you should be doing and know that you should be doing, after all that you've learned here about the brain and how this works, how anxiety works, the day that you feel like actually using the advice is never going to come. It will never, ever come, right? Because you're never going to feel, quote unquote, ready. So if you are guilty of waiting around until you feel like it, it's time to look in the mirror and ask yourself the question, right? And tell yourself this: I've got one life. Do I want to continue to wait until I feel like it to use this advice, or do I want to go ahead and use everything that I know and really dedicate to it? Do I want to have a productive day today, even though I don't necessarily feel like it? Is it worth getting my life back? I think it is. I think it is, right? So the most common cycle that I see people stuck in, and this is nothing to be ashamed about, it's just something to be aware of. But the most common cycle that I see people stuck in is, I know the advice, but I don't feel like using it. I know I should have a productive day, but I don't feel like doing it. I know I should work on positive behavior, but I don't feel like doing that, right? So that's the most common cycle that I see people stuck in. And it's time, okay, if you're not going to be honest with yourself, then I'm going to take this moment to do it for you, right? Now, you don't have to answer this out loud. You don't have to make a comment here on the stream. This is from me to you. Right? You don't have to say anything in chat, but let's be honest here for a second. I want everyone to be quiet and answer this question either out loud. You can answer it in the chat if you want to, or just simply in your head. This is me speaking directly to you. Since you have found my channel And since we have spoke this whole time about positive behavior, right? So you're triggered, but you should be up and being productive and smiling and speaking up. Everything the opposite of what anxiety expects. Since you've learned all this here on the channel, right? Here's my question to you. Each day, have you truly, 100% honesty here, have you truly been doing that? Have you been productive each day? Have you been smiling more each day even though you don't feel like it? Have you been having conversations about other things than anxiety even though you don't feel like it? Have you been doing things that you know that you need to do that are positive? Have you been getting back into your hobbies or trying to? Have you been doing things that you enjoy? Have you been behaving in a positive manner even though you're triggered? That's my question to you. Now, you don't have to answer that in chat, but you can if you want to. Have you honestly been doing that? There has to come a point, right? And this is what this stream is all about today, guys. There must come a point where you look in the mirror and you answer that question with complete honesty. Now, I'm not going to shame you for the answer to that question. You can come to me and you can say, you know what, Wonder Bro, I just sat and thought about it. I'm going to answer that question honestly. I've not been doing those things. I'm still doing the negative behavior. I'm still doing the compulsions. I'm still doing the negative attitude. I'm still doing all those things, right? And I'm not going to shame you for that. I'm just going to say to you this. Well, don't you think it's time to start? I know you don't feel like it, but don't you think your life is worth it? Don't you think recovery is worth it? Don't you think living a better life than the life that you've been living for these weeks, months, and years is worth it, right? That's what I will come to you and say. I'm not going to shame you. I'm just going to simply ask you, do you not think it's time to get started? So there's your motivation, right? How long do you want to stay in the cycle? You know the advice. How do you want to stay in it? You can make all the excuses in the world, right? And I was the best at making excuses. Now you can come back to that with a ton of excuses, right? And if that's what you're used to doing, that's what you'll probably do. You'll come back to that with a ton of excuses. Excuses aren't going to get you there, right? Now, I was the best at making excuses. Excuses aren't going to get you there. You either make the decision to start today with the positive behavior, right, even though you don't feel like it, or you don't. That is your two options, and that will always be your two options. No amount of excuses is going to get you there. No amount of yeah buts is going to get you there, right? None of that's going to get you there. You either push through it and use that positive behavior and do what you know you need to do. If you've been here for a while, I know you know what you need to do, right? You either do it or you don't. A lot of people spend a lot of time making excuses. A lot of people spend a lot of time saying, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. A lot of people spend a lot of time saying, I'll wait until I feel like it to use positive behavior. Feeling like it never comes, right? So at some point, we got to get brutally honest with ourselves and say, isn't it time, right? Basically, that's what we're trying to get at. Isn't it time to start making those behavioral changes, right? Isn't it time to start using what you know is the truth? Isn't it time to get started, right? Because if that day never comes where you ask yourself that question, you might just fall victim to continuous excuses. You might just fall victim to the same cycle, day after day, week after week, month after month. There has to come a point where you kind of slap yourself in the face a little bit, right? And say, it's time to get honest with myself, right? So I understand. I'm going to wrap this up. I understand what it feels like to not have any motivation. I understand what it feels like to not feel like using the positive behavior, right? The accepting behavior. I understand what all of that feels like. But there has to come a point where your desire to improve and your desire to take your life back from anxiety becomes greater than the excuses, than the I don't feel like it, than the cycle. There has to come a point where your desire to live a better life, right, becomes greater than your desire to continue using excuses. Okay, so that was my point of today's stream. Let's get you motivated. Let's get you going. Right? There's no time to waste. We might as well get started today, right now. Okay? So we're going to switch on over to post stream. We're going to see what Chad is up to today. I do have music ready to go. Aren't you proud of me? Normally, I don't have it ready to go, but today we are on top of things. We are on top of things. We're going to be doing some synthwave today. What is up, Sky? How you doing, dude? What is up, Truth Purple? How you doing? I'm going to turn this down a little bit on my end. Turn this down a little bit on my end. Does positive equal acceptance? So when I say positive behavior, I don't mean you're up in your head fighting with the thoughts and feelings. I mean literally your physical behavior, right? Are you using compulsions? Are you using coping methods? Or are you keeping your chin up? Positive body language, right? Doing things you enjoy doing, being productive, keeping the house up, right? Listening to your favorite songs, taking the dog for a walk. When I say positive, I don't mean you're up in your head trying to fight with thoughts and feelings. That's the accepting attitude part of the equation. When I say positive behavior, I mean literally physical positive behavior, right? What you're doing while you're triggered. Hey, Pooty, what's up, dude? Welcome. How are you doing, Truth? I've been doing really good. Now I feel like my old self lately. That is awesome. Keep it up. Keep it up. And what to do when you don't have the power for that desire. You make a decision, right? You make a decision. You can say, oh, well, sometimes my nerves are tired. It makes me feel like I don't want to get better. You make a decision. You make a decision. What do you want, right? There's no excuses that can overpower what do you want. What do you want? Do you want this or do you not? And if you don't, that's fine. Nobody can force it on you. Right? Nobody can force you into living a better life. Nobody can force this on you. You make a decision. What do you want? What do you want? If you want a better life, you've got the knowledge, and it's time to get started. Right? So you make a decision. What do you want? Do you want a better life or do you not? Right? And I know the answer to that question, and you know the answer to that question. I don't care how demotivated you might feel right now in the moment. You know the answer to that question, and I know the answer to that question too. Right? We both know the answer to that question. I think we do. I'm doing that as we speak, cooking now, even though I'm super anxious. There you go. That's an example of positive behavior. That's an example of somebody who wants it. Right? That's an example of somebody who wants it. Sick today, but I was like, fuck this. My thoughts were like, stay in bed, but went out there and did the work. Nice, dude. It's almost anxiety. It's making me a better version of the old me. So even going above and beyond who you even used to be. That is amazing. That is awesome. Thank you for the support. Absolutely, Arlene. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you just have to make a decision. You have to make a decision. There has to come a point in your life when you say, okay, do I want this or do I not? Really, we can word it a million different ways. We can talk about it all day, but that's what it's going to come down to. How bad do you want it? Are you sick of living the way that you're living? I'm sure you are. So it's time to punch through it. It's time to do what you need to do. It's time to use that positive behavior. It's time to work on those coping methods and compulsions. It's time to live even though you're triggered. Right? Because I'm sure that you do want it. I know you want it. Right? We both know the answer to that question. I know you want it. You know you want it. So there has to come a point where you're like, okay, it's time. Right? I can keep putting this thing off, but I mean, it's time because I want it. I want it. So, I mean, it's up to you. Nobody can make that choice for you, right? It's up to you. Nobody can make that choice for you. But you can do it, Arnold. You can do it, Sky. You can do it, Truth. You can do it, Arlene, Jen, Amanda, Pooty, every single one of you. Lucy, right? Right? You can do it. So it's up to you. You've got the advice. There comes a point where you got to admit, okay, yeah, I do know what I'm supposed to be doing. Whether I'm doing it or not, I'm going to have to get honest with myself about, right? Everybody's got to come to that realization eventually. And it's time to get going. Better now than never, right? Pooty, dude, with the $50 tip. Pooty, my man. Thank you so much, dude. That takes us to tip goal. We're moving on to a 114-day streak. Can we give a big round of applause in the chat to my boy Pooty, breaking the streak all by himself today with the $50 tip. Round of applause for Pooty, please. I want to see those emojis going. give me a nice, lovely wall of emojis. Let's do it. Perfect timing. Just the man I wanted to talk to. I have a question. What's up, dude? Hit me. Thank you again, Pooty, so much for that. Stop by to say hello. Keep going, guys. Today I got hit hard, but I'm proud. My first reaction is going to acceptance, right? Going to acceptance, getting up, living your life anyway, showing your brain that alarm isn't needed. That is amazing, Pooty. And thank you again for the $50 tip, dude. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing and awesome, and I love you very, very much.
Donation.
Lucy. Holy shit. Lucy. That one spooked me a little bit. Lucy coming in with the $20 tip takes us to 70. Thank you guys so much. We're not even 20 minutes into this thing, and we've already broke tip goal by $20. Thank you guys so much. I had a brain fart there for a second. Anyway, not even been streaming for 20 minutes, and we're already at 70. Lucy, Pooty, thank you guys so much. Show them some love in the chat. I really appreciate it. Also, you guys are probably going to get sick of hearing about this before long, right? But I can't really tell you why, because I don't know why. However, I have been, working on growing my Twitter here recently. So if you want to follow me over there, Vacate Fear, we're almost at 1,000 followers. We went from like 600 to 900 and some as of today, the last time I checked it. Let's try to get to that 1,000 follower mark. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, Vacate Fear, also Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I've been doing a lot more TikToks here recently, so stop by and check it out. Let's see, struggling with nausea and sickness. Anyone got any idea how long it can last? And then let's see, we had a reply to that. Where is it at? I feel it may be different for each individual. So understand something about symptoms. The more you resist, the more they tend to persist, right? That's always a good quote to go to. So I know the symptoms aren't exactly desirable. I get that. You don't have to like them to accept them. That's a common misconception. You don't have to like something to accept it. You accept it because you start to realize how stressful and absolutely futile resistance is. So start to try to have that accepting attitude towards the symptoms, even though I know they're not desirable, right? And live your life to the best of your ability. Nobody has to be perfect, and you can go at your own pace, but that positive behavior is what's going to get you there. I thought you want to say again that you ruined your sleeping schedule. No, that is not what we're talking about today. That is not what we're talking about today. Today we are talking about trying to grow that Twitter account. We are almost at 1,000. Almost. We are right around the corner, so let's try to get there. What is up, Travis? Hope you're having a good day. I'm going to scroll up, make sure I didn't miss any comments. Truth Speaker over 40 for me. You inspired me when you said you feel more like your old self. I was starting to think it's been too long, even though Claire Week says time doesn't matter. Time absolutely does not matter. It does not matter how long you've been at this thing, right? The moment you decide to start using positive behavior, aka living your life, which is what Truth has said she has done, the moment you decide to start living your life, even though you don't feel like it, that's what we mean by positive behavior, getting shit done, right? And just having that accepting attitude during that is the two main keys right there. Okay, the moment you decide to start doing that, you can start making changes. It's up to you. That choice is up to you. You can give me 1.5 million excuses, right? But excuses aren't going to get you there. I have to hit you with a little bit of reality and tell you, you are going to stay where you are unless you decide to stop making excuses and get started. And each and every one of you are capable. Don't become one of those people that stay stuck in this longer than they have to because they've got every excuse in the book that they can possibly pull out, right? Because you will. You might think that I'm trying to be mean or blunt. I'm just trying to wake you up a little bit because you don't have time to waste here. Let's get started. I'm trying to wake you up a bit because somebody at some point's got to tell you that. Or you're just going to keep making excuse after excuse. And that's what today's stream is really all about. You know, you have to get going. You have to get started. You know what needs to be done. It's time to do it. Okay, so at some point, somebody's got to wake you up and say, hey, are you ever going to start using this stuff or not? I know you don't feel like it, but are you going to get up and be productive today? I know you don't feel like it, but are you going to listen to some music today? I know you don't feel like it, but are you going to sing a little bit today? I know you don't feel like it, but are you going to hold a conversation about something other than anxiety today? I know you don't feel like it, but are you going to do something enjoyable today? Right? At what point do you get started? When it's too late? Right? When you're on your deathbed? when you're on your deathbed and you're running through in your mind of all the regrets that you have, and one of the biggest regrets that you can think of is that you knew that positive behavior would get you there, but you just didn't feel like it, but now it's too late because you're not getting up from that bed because you're on your deathbed, right? Is that when you're wanting to get started? Because then it's too late. I don't know. I'm asking the serious questions here. People don't want to talk about it. I think we need to talk about it. People don't like to talk about it. I think we need to talk about it, right? At what point do you stop making excuses and say positive behavior will get me there, I just got to use it? Because when you're on your deathbed and you're going through all your regrets in life, it's too late then. It's too late to get started then, right? So at what point do you stop making excuses and get started? At what point do you cut back on the compulsions and the coping methods and start to pick your chin up and use that positive behavior? At what point do you say, okay, I don't feel like it, but I'm going to do it anyway? Right? So we're asking the big questions today, and these are questions that might sound depressing, but this is reality. This is reality. So it's up to you. It's up to you. Sorry, washing dishes. No problem, Truth. Happy to have you here. So at what point, man, at what point do you decide to get started? I can't do it for you, right? I mean, you know, you'll stay in this cycle as long as you want to stay in this cycle. Nobody can do it for you, right? Nobody's coming to do it for you. That's unfortunately not a choice. So some point you got to be honest. Some point you got to be honest. But I have too many of those. A lot of people have too many buts. A lot of people do have too many buts and what ifs and yeah, buts, right? A lot of people do have too many of those. And that's why at some point you have to face reality and say, okay, well, I can keep going down the yeah, but path and for the rest of my life until I die, right? I can keep doing that. And then my chance is over. Or I can drop the whole yeah, but thing and actually start to use what I'm learning, right? So, you know, there has to come a time where you're honest with yourself like that. There has to. There has to, my man. There has to. And believe me, you're not the only one, Arnold. That's why we're doing this entire stream today, because that's common. That's very common. I was guilty of that too, so you're not the only one. You're not the only one. So, I mean, you can let a feeling continue to dictate your behavior, which will continue to train your brain the wrong way and make you miserable. Or you can, so basically you can let a feeling ruin your life and stop you from using the advice and take away the only life that you have, right? So you can let a feeling do that, and you can make all the excuses you want to allow that to happen, or you can not let feelings do that to you. You can start to use the advice, start to use the positive behavior, and take your life back. Really, that's the only two choices you'll ever have. That's the only two options you'll ever have. And today's stream basically is kind of a tough love stream. It's kind of a slap of reality that says, hey, to put it bluntly, and I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, I'm trying to get you motivated. To put it bluntly, you are pissing away the one life that you have, and when that time's gone, you're not getting it back, right? So you can either get started today with the positive behavior and change your entire life over time, or you can continue to piss away the only life that you have that you're not getting back, right? And if you make this decision too late, like for example, when you're on your deathbed, right, and you're not getting back up, if that's when you decide that, oh man, maybe I should have done that, it's too late, right? It's too late. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Get started today, right? Do something positive today. Put on a happy song and sing today. Take out the trash today. Paint the house today, right? It's up to you. It's up to you. I think I watched a video one time where they interviewed a handful of people that were on their literal deathbeds, right? Elderly people that were on their deathbeds. And they asked them, you know, what do you regret the most, right? And they all more or less had the same answer, which was doing the things, you know, not doing the things that I wanted to do. Now it's too late to do that. So if retraining your brain is on the list of things that you want to do, which it should be right at the top, I would assume, right? Don't wait until it's too late. Just go ahead and get started. It's not too late now. It's never too late now, but one day it might be. So let's get going. Let's get started. Like, if you wait until you're on your deathbed to decide that, oh, I should have used positive behavior and used the advice, even though I didn't feel like it, well, it's too late at that point. But it's not too late now. Get started. You're here now. Get started. Cut the bullshit, right? Because we're trying to give you a dose of reality today. You can't get that time back. You can't. You can't. Better now. Better to start now. All right, guys, we're going to switch on over to the BRB screen for a second. I will be right back. I hope you guys enjoy that lovely BRB music. I know you like it, so here you go. All right. We are back. People enjoy the BRB music so much that they're probably like, damn it, he's back. Damn it, he's back. We are back. And we are also at 928 followers over on the Twitter. We are close to that 1K mark. Follow me. You guys are going to get so sick of hearing that. I understand. Also, Also, if you did enjoy today's stream, guys, make sure you leave a thumbs up because we are quickly approaching that 10.5K mark. So make sure you leave that thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. In order for this channel to grow, I absolutely need your help. Due to my past, I've developed a fear of dedicating time to things because when I was in college, I didn't have a lot of free time. So now I value my free time like gold, never wanting to part with. Well, what you do with your free time is up to you, right? I understand what you're saying, but you can still do what you wish with your free time, right? You can do what you wish with your free time. Hopefully it is something productive or positive in nature. Now, something I want to mention, as I was away there for a minute, I understand that it might sound like I'm telling you guys that you've got to be busy and productive 24 hours a day and you can't relax. That's not what I'm saying. A positive behavior could be kicking your feet up and watching a funny movie. Do you see what I'm getting at? Where normally your negative behavior would be Dr. Google or something. I don't know. I'm just giving you examples. So, yeah, don't think that. Don't think that. Wonder Bro Sanchez. I'm excited after 5 years of not going to a barbershop and me learning and cutting my hair. I just got a fresh cut at a shop. Thanks to you. Dude, that is awesome. And you did wonders for your brain. You did wonders for your brain. You may not see those results instantly, but you can still be proud and you can still rest assured that by doing that, you have made a choice of a positive behavior, right? A big one too, at that, a big one that is going to directly impact your brain in a very positive way. So congrats, dude. You are awesome, my man. You are awesome. You're all awesome. You're all awesome and amazing, no matter where you are on your journey, right? Hopefully today's stream, the goal of today's stream was really to get you motivated, get you using some positive behaviors. Even if it's a small start, man, it's still a start. I tell everybody you don't have to be perfect, and I also tell everybody you go at your own pace, even if it's just a small start. Like, for example, let's give some examples. I love examples. Let's say today, instead of being on your phone on Dr. Google for 3 hours, you're only on your phone for 1 hour, and the other 2 hours you were watching a funny show on Netflix. I don't know. That's positive direction. That's a positive behavior. That's a start. Let's say today you normally don't take the trash out. You just let the trash pile up because you don't feel like taking the trash out. You'd rather sit on the couch and obsess. But today you got up and you took the trash out. Some people think, oh, that's so irrelevant. Why would you give that example? No, it's not. That's a positive behavior. That's a start. All of these things add up. All of these things matter, right? Let's say, I'm trying to give small examples of small behaviors to show you how much it all adds up. Let's say today, when you normally look in the mirror, you look in the mirror and you frown, but today you decided to smile. That's positive behavior, right? These little things that you think are irrelevant is a start. They add up, and of course, you know, we've got a ladder here. We can go to bigger and bigger positive behaviors, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. My feeling and response, if this is bad, enjoy everything is so bad, blah, 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 blah. Sounds like a bunch of blah, blah, right? So work on that accepting attitude. Work on that accepting attitude. Work on that positive. You've got the two main keys, but they do take work, right? You've got the two main keys, but they do take work. You've got the two main keys, but they do take effort. So instead of responding to these thoughts and feelings with, oh, this is so bad, you can give yourself an accepting reminder. Oh, this is my opportunity to move in a different way. That's what we call an accepting reminder. You're not fighting with the thoughts and feelings. You're giving yourself a little accepting reminder, working on that accepting attitude, which is half of the equation, and then doing a positive behavior. You see how these two things go hand in hand. Now, whether or not you do that, of course, is your choice. Negative behavior is the 24/7 news cycle. Shut it down. Shut it down. Turn the channel. Comment. So I missed your comment. Hold on just a second. Let me see. When I get symptoms, I get flash thoughts like me picturing me run out of the kitchen or having to run out with working. Is that second fear? So if you get symptoms and automatically you start to have some negative thoughts about what might happen, you can simply insert here a accepting attitude like, you know what, okay, had that thought, but now it's my chance to show the brain what's up. So I'm not going to do that. Right? I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity. So you see how you can always, apply the accepting attitude in situations. So, of course, we're always going to come back to the two main keys. Apply that accepting attitude, take that positive behavior, right? Basically, a good way to put it that makes it pretty simple if you're overcomplicating it. A good way to put it is do the opposite of what anxiety expects, right? So let's say you're feeling very nervous. Anxiety expects you to run to the bathroom, right, and sit in the corner or something. Do the opposite of what anxiety expects. Don't run to the bathroom. Put on a smile and partake in life, right? So I don't know. My God, the examples are endless. The examples are endless. We could go on and on for hours. There's literally millions and billions of examples. But a good way to put it is like I said, the opposite of what anxiety expects with your behaviors. The opposite of what anxiety expects, right? And again, we talked about this the other day. You can't say it's faking it because it's not. Is there a real tiger in the room with you? No? Okay, well then you're not faking it. You're just proving to your brain that there is no real tiger because there's not a real tiger. Now you need to prove that to the brain. So you can't use the faking it excuse. That does fuck all, right? That doesn't count. You're not faking it. Is there a real tiger in the room? Of course not. Now you got to prove that to your brain. So how is that faking it? You're just playing the game the way it's supposed to be played now. So you can get rid of that excuse, right? It's time to get started. It's time to get started. I didn't even realize your comment before I started rambling there, Lucy, but great minds think alike. I just addressed the whole faking it thing. There you go. Perfect timing. Just chiming in to say thank you for all you do, Wonder Bro. Absolutely, Spider. My pleasure. I've been doing really well lately, but I had a bit of an anxious moment setback today. Def needed this stream's reminder, and that's okay. I always say that it's not about being perfect. It's about getting back on board. I'm outside doing yard work, and I'm in a t-shirt. This is fantastic. Love it. Love it. Let's see here. Skull meat. We got skull meat in the chat today. Hard to stop myself from getting involved, trying to control insanity back, been in constant practice all day and haven't gotten it right, but I'm trying at the least. Well, the accepting attitude, Dr. Claire Weeks called it floating, right? So the accepting attitude is really just saying to yourself, okay, I've got these thoughts and feelings, it is what it is, but I'm going to live independently of that, right? You don't have to fight them away, basically, is what we're trying to say. You don't have to fight them away. Long story short, I fear dedicating time to fun things like watching a 2-hour movie or hanging out with a friend. So maybe that's a fear you need to face, and I think it is. Right? I think it is. Let's see. David. How you doing, David? Exactly, man. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Thoughts happen. You can't control them. What you can do is not be consumed by them. You don't find your identity in them. Right? That's the accepting part of the equation. Then the positive behaviors. The two main keys right there. Thank you. Absolutely, Spider. I'm glad you're doing better, dude. Keep it up. Keep it up. You don't have to be perfect. Just get right back on track. That's what it's all about. A lot of positivity today. I love to see it. I love to see it. And if you're looking for your sign to subscribe, this is your sign. Take it. Take it. Take it. Take it. Hit the subscribe button. I want to face it and conquer it. Any advice? Here's the beautiful thing about the two main keys. It will always apply to anything that you're trying to face in that way, right? That causes anxiety. So the two main keys, dude. Two main keys. You probably get sick of hearing me say it, but that'll always be my advice for conquering fears or anything anxiety related, right? Or negative moods, right? Anything of that nature. So that's the beautiful thing about the two main keys. Try to have that accepting attitude during. Remind yourself it's okay to have these thoughts and feelings. Right? This is your opportunity. It's not a bad thing. And then take that positive behavior. The two main keys. Always, always, always. Right? Honestly, started to use your advice and stick with the two main keys and started living life. I feel great. There you go. There you go. That's all the proof that you need. We get comments like that all the time. That's all the proof that you need. Just start living, right? So when David says, I just started living life, he's saying he started to use positive behavior. He didn't feel like it, but he did it. And guess what? Now he says, I feel great. So, I mean, what are you waiting for, chat? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And that was really the point of today's stream, is to kind of slap you awake a little bit and say, what are you waiting for? Good night, everyone. Thank you, Wonder Bro Legend. I appreciate it, AP. Thank you, dude. Have a good night, man. APC in the house. Oh, the Spider Pig song. I've had that stuck in my head before. It's catchy. It's catchy. Oh no, you would definitely will have the symptoms, especially at first, but it's about doing it anyway. Anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. Having the symptoms is not a bad thing, it's a good thing. Anxiety only learns while anxiety is turned on. So your thinking's completely backwards. You need those symptoms to be there. Anxiety, here, I'll say it again. Anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. There you go. I'll say it one more time because that's such a sweet statement. Anxiety learns while anxiety's turned on. See it as an opportunity, not a bad thing. Thanks, Wonder Bro. I gotta go. Hey, thanks for stopping by, dude. I really appreciate it. Have a good one. Absolutely, Sanchez. Proud of you, my boy. Proud of you. All right, beautiful people. Whew. Chat's starting to wind down a little bit. I'm starting to wind down a little bit. We're about 10 minutes away from that hour mark, I believe. We're going to start winding the stream down here. Guys, thank you so much for another amazing stream. Thank you so much for all of the love, all of the support. I couldn't do it without you guys. This channel would be nothing without you guys. So again, just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Let's go ahead and get our song ready to go. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. We got to sit through an ad though real quick. But anyway, special shout out, man. Special shout out today to our tippers. Thank you guys so much. We couldn't have made it to a 114-day streak, obviously, without you. Let's see. We got our song ready to go. So we're going to get that rolling. Is there anything else I want to talk about before we go? I think that's just about it. I think that's everything. So I hope you all have an amazing, fantastic day. Get started, man. Better now. Don't wait around. No excuses are going to work. I love you guys. And until next time, as always, stay awesome.
I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Did it die? Yeah. Did it die? Did it die? I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die?
Whatever you want, I'll be whatever you want. Just tell me you love me or not, whatever it costs. I know I'm talking a lot, there's something I gotta get off. Don't wanna be this no more, I don't wanna drink no more. Always gotta do the most, thinking that I'm insecure. Really should've listened more, but I don't, of course. I'm an asshole, I'm a good guy, I'm your best friend, I'm the worst type. Tell you everything that you heard right, just so I can fuck on the first night. Feel like I'm losing hope, running from coast to coast. I don't know where to go, this all I've ever known.
I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die.
No.
Did it die?
Wait.
Did it die?
Wait.
Did it die? I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die.
Won't die.
Did it die?
Wait.
Did it die?
Wait.
Did it die?
My aunt think I'm perfect, I know I'm not. My mama be worried, I told her stop. They know I did drugs and think that I'm off. Little do they know I never could stop. My manager hate when I'm pulling up late. Back on my bullshit, she think it's a phase. I got relations I gotta maintain. I'm two different people, my side and my main. Yeah, I'm sober, I'm an addict. I'm a lowlife, I got habits, but I refuse to be average. Really so tired of acting. Don't know what I miss no more. Too bad you don't hit me more. I'm bad when I get too bored. Careful what you wishing for.
I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die.
No.
Did it
it die? Wait, did it die?
I'm stone